Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Benton Shifts and Grins 2-bike carrier on our 2024 Hyundai Tucson. Now if you've had any experience with this bike carrier, or if you watch this video and you have some questions about it, please go ahead and leave those in the comments below. We'd love to take those questions and those stories and share them with our other neighbors in order to help them make the best decisions for themselves. Now the Benton Shifts and Grins is a 2-bike carrier. It weighs about 63.5 pounds on its own, and it has a capacity of 55 pounds per bike. So completely maxed out, this is going to give you almost 175 pounds worth back here. So always double check your hitch capacity. Make sure that the tongue weight capacity is at least 175 pounds and the vehicle's tongue weight capacity is at least 175 pounds. There are two ways that you could actually mount a bike onto this carrier. One is a wheel mount and the other would be a frame mount. So if you have a carbon fiber frame or a custom paint job, the suggestion would be to mount it at the wheel. If you have fenders on your bike, what you will want to do then is take your arm, you can completely remove the hook, move it over to the frame, and reapply it right there to give yourself a frame-mounted carrier. So it's really nice to be able to do that, especially if you have multiple styles of bikes. You can adjust the wheelbase on it by adjusting one of the cups here and being able to slide it back and forth. The other strap that you're going to have on each wheel is a ratcheting strap with a rubber pad so it doesn't scratch up your wheels. Now, one of the biggest questions people often have when looking at a hitch bike carrier is, will I have trunk or liftgate access? The Shifts and Grins does have a tilt feature. You can access that through this button right here. So what I tend to do is usually either grab onto the frame or grab onto a bike frame. I'm going to pop that button in and I'll slowly lower it down and away from the liftgate. Now with that being there as it is, I should be able to get into the liftgate fairly easily. Yeah, plenty of clearance there. So now I can get into my liftgate, I can sit down, I can grab some water, I can change my shoes, really anything I need to do either before or after my ride, I'm going to be able to get total access back here. Now let's talk a little bit about visibility, both for you and for others on the road. When using this bike rack loaded up, you are going to have your license plate is going to be partially obstructed along with your tail lights. You're also going to get some partial obstruction from your rear view camera. So it is important to kind of know what kind of footprint this is leaving behind the vehicle for when you need to maneuver into those tighter spaces or parking garage, anything like that. It's a good idea to know exactly what you got going on back here. So from the bumper to the furthest part of the rack, we are at 31.5 inches. So just keep that in mind, that you've got almost 3 extra feet back here when you're backing into places, just because you're not going to have that great visibility out of your rear view camera. Something else to keep in mind is ground clearance. You know, because we're extending off the back, there might be situations where you're on an incline, whether it's on a trail or maybe just a steep driveway. You're going to want to know how much clearance you have down here on the bottom. So from this part of the rack, we are at 10.5 inches off of the ground. And then on the furthest part of the rack, we're at about 17.5 inches off the ground. So those are just some things to keep in mind, just in case you end up confronting one of those big inclines. So another thing you might be wondering is, hey, this bike rack is 63.5 pounds. I don't want to remove it and reinstall it every time I want to use it. What kind of solution do we have for that? Well, it does also have a stowaway position. That's going to be accessed through the same button that we used for the tilt-away. It'll fold right up flat in the back here. That same measurement we took to this lower part of the shank now ends up becoming your clearance in the back. And as you can see in the folded up position, now we really don't have any obscurities back here. It's not obscuring our taillights, it's not obscuring our license plate, and we should have almost complete visibility as well coming out of our rear view camera. We might catch the top of this a bit, but it shouldn't be anything that should keep you from being able to park it easily. Now, the Shifts and Grins has actually a special pin and clip here. It is a D-shaped threaded pin, so it is going to be specific to this hitch, and that assists a bit in keeping it from rattling around too much and being loose. It also has a hitch alignment collar so that every time you pick this up and put it in the shank, you can line it up so that your bolt hole is in the perfect position. And we added one more piece back here just to make it even more secure, and that is the etrailer anti-rattle hitch collar, which we have right here. And this works through the knob at the bottom. It creates a wedge that is going to come down and pin the shank of your bike rack into the corner of the receiver, keeping it from moving around. So now there is no movement at all in the shank of your bike rack. So that is something I would definitely recommend you pick up with any hitch accessory or any kind of towing need that you may have. So there was a look at the Benton Shifts and Grins 2-bike rack on our 2024 Hyundai Tucson. I'm Curt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.